I'm gonna be installing a couple of things to this bike. One is tail light, additional tail light, driving light, and gear indicator. So for that, let me show how it's done. First, we need to remove the seats. So the first one is the pillion rider, which is by this keyhole right there with a key, and then the driver's seat, and that's by removing these two pieces of bolt from here. And what is done is simply put it on. So we need to remove the fuel tank cover, and for that we need an Allen key. So you need to remove the bolt there, and another one here, and another one here. So I have already removed 3 bolts on the right side. So now let's do the left side. Once you have removed all the 6 bolts, you can gently pull out the tank cover. And there's another thing that you need to remove is this socket here, yeah, which connects the instrument cluster there in the top of the tank to the engine. Yeah, so let me remove that. There. Next up is to remove the headlight cover. So for that, we need a Phillips screwdriver to remove the 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think there's another 4 inside, another one here, and then you need an Allen key to remove the Allen screw at the bottom. And there is another plastic push here, push I don't know, push screw, something like that. Yeah, there, push lock there. So you need to remove these 4 long bolts or screws right there. So after removing the 4 bolts, we need to remove this as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another one here and another one there on the side. Removing the 4 bolts allows us to remove this cover like that. Yeah. Remember that this one, which has a nut on the other end, goes inside right there. These 2 Allen screws came from underneath there. Underneath. These 2 bolts, screws, came from here and the other side. And lastly, you need to remove this lock here. And you need to do is to push that like so. Yeah, once you pull this one out, it's the lock. You can, yeah, it's you can remove this all the way. So do the same on that. Once you have removed all the screws and bolts, it will just simply slide out, and all that remains to be done is to remove the sockets right here. So these are for the headlights. Yeah, there, the headlight is removed. Cover rather. Yeah, headlight and all. For the mini driving light, I have actually installed it already. So let me just show you how I've done it. So this is the socket, and this is the relay. Yeah, so it's a relay switch, and there's 2 driving light, yeah, one on each side, and you can consider them as one, and you can just combine them together. I installed the driving light using a wire harness with a relay like this one. So this is exactly like this one. So it's a 12 volts 80 amps, so it can be used actually for high powered equipment in the car. So as long as it's 12 volts. So it has this fuse. Yeah, there's a fuse inside. So this one connects to the red terminal or the positive of the battery, and the others here are for the lights. All right, so I prepared this very simple diagram here, starting with the relay. So the relay have numbers in them. So you have 87 right there, then you have 86 here, 85, and then 30 at the bottom. So the number 30 that came with the white wire, which is very long, so it's this one. Yeah. So right there, the white one. So that's the long white one. It will go directly to the positive terminal of the battery. So I'll show that later. And then the short white, which is the number 86, which is this one here. Yeah, it's the short one, the white one. This will go into the ignition switch. Yeah, so the accessory switch. Accessory switch. I think that's what ACC means. And then the number 85, which is the black, this one here. Yeah, the black. Yeah, is this one. This will go into the ground, or the body of the motorcycle or the car if you're using this for the car. Okay, and then lastly on the socket and the relay, you have the number 87, which is colored yellow here, yellow. So this will go, it's the end of it. This will go into the mini driving light, or if you're using it for the horn, for instance, this will go into the horn. So it will go into the positive or the red wire of the auxiliary light or the driving light. And then the last set of wire in the harness, which is not connected to the relay or to the socket, is this black wire right here. So again, you will connect this to these two terminals here. You will connect this to the black wire, or the negative of the light, and the other end you will hook this up into the body of the motorcycle, the car. So the negative of the motorcycle. Actually, what you can do is you can combine this together. Yeah, and it will be fine. Yeah, because they will be connected anyway. So the long white wire that contains the fuse is connected to the positive terminal of the battery right there. So I connected it right there. Yeah, and I routed it through here. Yeah, right here, and it goes out the end of that long white wire right there. Sorry, you can see the end of it, which is this one. Yeah, the long white wire, and it's right there. So hope you can see these two black wire here, which has each of it has two wires coming out, a red one and a black one. So the red is always positive and the black is the negative. So what I did was I combined the red and I combined the black. So the red goes into the relay, right, which is the yellow number 87 in the relay. And the black, yeah, I connected them together and it terminated into the body of the motorcycle. So that will be the negative, yeah, right there. So just terminated it there. So the last wire coming out of the relay will go into the accessory switch of the motorcycle. So this is the ignition key actually. So this one will terminate into here. So it's just an on and off switch, yeah, right there. And hope you guys can see. So you connect it to where it terminates to the key, not the other end, but in here. Yeah. And there are two colors. You have the white and you have the brown. So you connect it to the brown wire, not to the white wire, because if you connect to the white wire, it's always on. But in here, because the switch is on the other end, so it has to be on the brown wire. So once you have done that, then yeah, it will now be powered, and all that needs to be done. Last thing I forgot. So this is the end actually of the switch. This switch here, the end is this two. So you have, so one of the end, it goes into the ignition switch right there, and the other end goes into the ignition, into the relay, so that every time you so that it will not be powered until the engine is turned on. I mean the ignition key is on. Yeah. So that's how I connected the mini driving light. Hope that's not too confusing. So in all the connections here, we only connected to the motorcycle electrical relay on the ignition switch, which is the brown wire. All the rest was just connecting to the driving light, to the relay, and of course the other end of the power is to the battery. But other than that, we only connected it to the ignition switch of the motorcycle, which is this wire here. It's a bit thick than compared to the other because it needs lights of current passes through there. Yeah. So I hope that I also installed mobile phone charger. Yeah, this one. It has a switch in it. Like that. Yeah. So right there. And its mojo is this one, right inside. So I also connected the positive, which will terminate also into the negative, into the body of the motorcycle. And the other one, I also connected it to the accessory switch, yeah, to the ignition switch, so that you cannot turn it on. You cannot turn it on without turning on the engine, I mean the ignition. So yeah, for the mini driving light bracket, this is what I used. Yeah, so it fits perfectly. Still have some room there to spare, as you can see there. Oh, it's not in focus. Yeah, so and I have in here an installed one. It's composed of 4 parts plus 2 stickers to protect the shaft. I'm gonna put it here, the mini driving light, but I already have this tool tube, so I decided to look somewhere else, and fortunately we have this bracket, so I'm quite happy with the setup. And the mini driving light is actually very bright. I think this is 30 watts each, so it's actually brighter than the headlight. And the low here in my country, the Philippines, is this should be pointing, I think, like 10 meters away, not up but down. So if you can see, it's pointing a bit downward, although admittedly it's still very bright. Yeah. So the other thing I installed is this tail light, which is a combination of brake light, tail light, and also a signal light. After I installed this bracket for the top box and the side pannier, one problem is the visibility of the tail light, because it's now hidden a little bit under, although it's still visible, but I still want to improve it. So this is what it looks like, yeah, uninstalled. Yeah, so you have a couple of LEDs there, and you have smaller ones to either side, and those are the turning lights. And it has a couple of connections right there. I'll add in the video the photo of the wirings. So since this is an LED, it is low wattage, and you don't need a separate relay. Yeah. The other thing I like about this is it has a sticker like that, 3M, but still it's not enough. So I added a zip tie to secure it better, and also some more zip ties there, and some more zip tie. And then this is how I connected them. Yeah, so I connected them. So I tried to locate the wires. So the black is the neutral. Sorry, not neutral, but rather the ground. So you can actually connect this in any part of the body, but for simplicity, I also added in there. So yeah, so you have the green here for the signal, and also the, I think that's yellow there for the other signal, and then you have the white and the red. I don't know which one is for the running light, but anyway, we'll see that in the diagram. Yeah, red and white. Yeah, so you have a total of 5 wirings. Yeah. You can actually put the black in any here, because this one also has the ground, right? Ground, and also this one. Yeah. So it goes in the same line, or you can connect it into the body, as I mentioned. So how I did it is I got this wire. I think this is gauge 14. These are normally used in installation of wiring in the house. And I have a solder. Yeah, and so I soldered it like that. Yeah, and to prevent any short circuiting, I used a shrink tube. Yeah, this one. Yeah, so I use a shrink tube, and just imagine it's already there. The tail light has 5 wires going out, and they are this. So you have the red for the brake light. You have the, what is that? Running light. So you just simply push it into the terminals there. Yeah, you can see that. Sorry, there. Yeah, push it like that. So this is one of the signal light with a shrink tube already in it. All you have to do is, this is the ground, so this is the signal light. You push it right there, like so. There, it's already secured, and pushed in. So to secure it, you used an electrical tape. Now there, so it's now powered. Yep. And let me show you the signal. Hope you can see that. It's blinking, this one. And also the other side is also blinking. Alright, let me show you the brake light. Yeah, it's also working. Now I need to install the gear indicator, and for that, it's quite simple actually. The most challenging is getting the neutral indicator, although it's not needed because it has a neutral there already. But the problem is, it will not tell you if it's neutral already in the indicator, because it only goes from 1 to 8, and it will not 0 if it doesn't have a neutral signal. So I need to find out the neutral signal, and it is coming through under the tank. So I need to remove the tank. So to remove the tank, you need to remove 3 bolts, one here, another one there, and the last one is this one. So you need to remove 3 bolts. Yeah. So cut a sheet of metal. It's easier when it's thinner because it's easy to work with them. Size is about 4 centimeter by 6.5. The hole is not centered, so skew a little bit to the right. What you can do is start with a calling card first, like this one, so it's easier to work with the hole. So the sensor is here. It's later I will attach there, probably via glue or epoxy. Wire goes up there and into here. And for the indicator, it's wired. I will fix that later. So here, do that later. So now I will connect them using the diagram right there. They're all color coded. So one that I will not be using is the white because I cannot find a neutral signal. So let's see what will come out of this. The indicator has 6 wires coming out of it, and they're all color coded. So you have green, blue, yellow, red, black, and white. So you just have to follow them. So for the blue, you need to get 2 wires from the 2 sensors. So one sensor 1, sensor 2, and just combine them like this one here into the blue. And then one of the sensors, yellow, you connect into yellow there. And then the other one, green, you need to connect to green. Then the red and the black right there is for the power. So what I did is I obtained power from the tail light. So I chose the running light, which is the red, the back, that is always on when you turn on the light. Because this bike is always on, the headlight will always turn on. So every time you turn on the engine, the ignition switch this will be powered. So I got power from there. So the red connected there, and the black is there. You can also connect this to the body, as I always say. So that's already powered. So the white one doesn't have any connection to it because I cannot find the neutral. Actually, I found it, but it's just too difficult, so I decided not to include it. Anyway, it's fine because I have the neutral indicator in the dashboard, so that's fine. So when you go to neutral, you'll see a 1. Of course, the neutral is already indicating as neutral. So it's not really that difficult, guys. So again, this is how the wiring goes to there and here, and yeah, so that's the final setup. Yep, the tape is not so fixed, but yeah, it's okay. So I fixed it using a double-sided tape, and it appears that I made a very big plate, but it's okay. It's working fine. You don't need really a very thick one. Prefer to use a small one because it's easy to work with. You can bend it, cut it short, and it's easy. Drill a hole in it, it's easy. So yeah, that's what I used, and it's working fine. So this is not 3M, but it's like 3M. So it's a double-sided tape, and that's what I used to fix to the plate right there. I think I made a very big plate, but at least yeah, it's working. The gear indicator has successfully been installed, so I fixed right there the indicator, the light, neutral. It doesn't have a neutral because I cannot find the neutral signal, but anyway, so this is the final product. So using a double-sided tape, I installed it right there, and since it's a magnet, it will stick quite easily and strongly. But I use a different magnet. I have some spare magnet disc, and I use 3 of them there. And to secure them further, I put an adhesive tape. I hope it doesn't get too hot, otherwise it will melt. I think it should be fine. So it's working now. Let's give it a try. So first, here, see. Second gear, third gear. No, it has to go all the way to make it into the next gear. But anyway, I have tried it already up to 6th gear a couple of times. I did some recalibration, and to calibrate it, what I did was you can move the magnet around, yeah, either forward or backward until you get the perfect location. So yeah, it's good. So quite happy with the results. So those are the upgrades to this bike. The first one was this, the top box with side pannier bracket, and there's a tail light, then top box, which I have removed. It's removable, by the way. And then I have also this tool tube, and I also have a mini driving light there, 2 of them. And of course the last one was this gear shift indicator. And yeah, I also have the saddle bag. So I'm not using a side pannier, but rather saddle bag. Personally, I don't like heavy stuff because it puts stress to the bike. So I prefer using bags, and also a plastic top box, one of those there. So they're quite light. So far I'm quite happy with the setup, and yeah, I think I will be quiet for now and we'll break in. So right now it has 1,380 kilometers, although I need to reach 2,000 because it keeps limiting at only 6,000 RPM. So every time you reach that, the RPM limiter will turn on, and you cannot really push the bike. The standard limiter for Dominar is 8,500. So I'll continue breaking in. Hopefully I'll reach that in about, I don't know, a few weeks time, and enjoy the bike more. So yeah, so that's all. Thank you guys.